Okay, yo guys, we're back with another episode of Flawless Finance going live with the CEO. We're finally at episode 20. So, I mean, wow, we've come so far in just a few months. We've been live streaming, and crazy to say, yeah, we're at episode 20 already. It's been a hell of a ride. Some amazing clips have come out of these streams, and if this is the first time you joining us, we talk about a wide range of topics, a lot of sports, boxing, basketball, MMA, politics, economics, business stuff. Yeah, generally a wide range of stuff. We're going to kick off today with the breaking news regarding the New York Knicks and Minnesota Timberwolves trade that swaps Karl Anthony Towns and Julius Randle. And, wow, was really surprised with this trade. Really surprised that the Timberwolves, accepted this trade, to be fair. They've given up one of their, in the league, one of the league's elite stretch bigs for Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. Now, I guess, I guess that means for the Timberwolves they've got a bit more depth now, where they've got another power forward and another, scoring guard, another 3-point shooting guard in Dante DiVincenzo. And obviously, like I said, another power forward in Julius Randle, but I'm really concerned about the fit in terms of the Timberwolves. I get the Timberwolves have got a first round pick out of it, but who knows what that pick's going to be, if it's going to be any good. And even if it's a high pick or a low pick, it all depends on how Minnesota actually use the pick. So that's, almost a non-factor in the trade. But, you'd rather have an additional first round pick than not have one. But yeah, super interesting. I'm surprised that, like I said, Minnesota took the trade, because now you've got, a power forward centre duo of Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle, which is going to be tough to watch. I think it's safe to say, it's going to be some tough to watch basketball. And I'm kind of confused that, what the Timberwolves were aiming to get out of this, because you adding Julius Randle doesn't make your chances of winning a championship any better at all. You've now got your centre and your power forward and no spacing at all. Neither of these guys can knock down threes at all. Obviously, Gobert is an awful 3-point shooter. Julius Randle is bad, but at least he can very rarely knock one down. Rudy Gobert, you won't even get that. But there's going to be times in Minnesota when they're going to be really hard to watch next season, because there'll be times when the defense, they can double team Ant, essentially take him out of the game, and they've got no one else to rely on. I guess you've got Rob Dillingham, the new guy they drafted, who's particularly shifty, quite bouncy, but there's not going to be any spacing for him. There's not going to be any space for Rob and Anthony Edwards to drive, because you're going to have Gobert and Julius Randle clogging up the inner court, the mid range, and the paint, because these guys can't space the floor. They can't stretch out to the 3-point line and even be a respectable threat there, because Gobert's not going to making a three, and Julius Randle's probably not making any either. So this is a trade that's really messed up the spacing of the Timberwolves, but we'll see how they make it work. They must have seen something in this trade that made it worthwhile. I guess Dante DiVincenzo is additional guard depth, and he's a guy who can knock down a three from time to time. But yeah, for me, a really sort of strange decision in this one, but we'll see what happens with Minnesota. And then the Knicks, pulling off the heist of the season, getting Karl Anthony Towns for Julius Randle. It's hard to believe that, like I said, it's hard to believe the Timberwolves really accepted this trade. That being said, Karl Anthony Towns does have his limits as a player. We know he is one of the better stretch 4/5s in the league, purely because of his 3-point shooting. He's nothing special on defense. He's kind of soft. But you've kind of replaced Julius Randle with the opposite of what Julius Randle is. Julius Randle is a player who's a physical presence, does well on defense, but offensively can't give you anything outside of the arc. Whereas Karl Anthony Towns is the opposite. He's a player who's not got. He's a big guy. What is he? 6'10", 6'11". A bit of physical presence, but defensively nothing special. But he can knock down a three. But nowadays, the way the league's going, you'd rather have a Karl Anthony Towns than a Julius Randle. If they're both fit and both available for 80 games a season, you'd rather have Karl Anthony Towns than Julius Randle, in my opinion. The way the league's going at the moment. That being said, this is a big trade, but does it really improve the Knicks' chances of winning a championship? Not majorly. Karl Anthony Towns hasn't. He's had spurts. He's had good runs of form. He's had good moments, but he's not one of these. He's not an elite player in the NBA. He's not a top 5 player. He's not improving your chances of winning a championship that much. He might mean instead of the Knicks getting bounced in the first, they might get bounced in the second. Type of thing. But they're definitely going to miss the defense that Julius Randle offers. Certainly going to miss that. But like I said, a super interesting trade. And like I said, I'm surprised that the Knicks or the Minnesota Timberwolves actually accepted this one. Really surprised. But talking it through does kind of make sense. Potentially they're thinking in it. But I'd be super curious to know what you guys think. Do you think Randall's a good fit for the Timberwolves? And do you think Karl Anthony Towns is a good fit for the Knicks? And who do you think's won this trade? Be super curious to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. What else have we got here? We've got some UFC stuff here where we're going to look into the fight we've got with Alex Pereira versus Khalil Roundtree for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship. Now, stylistically, this is a fight that potentially could be really good, where you've got two of the best strikers in the light heavyweight division, two guys that can seriously bang, going head to head. Now, that being said, we've had fights like this before where we've seen two really high level strikers go against each other, and it was a bit of a boring fight. I say that, top of my head comes something like an Izzy v and Anderson Silva. Now, this fight is a bit different because both of these guys are out and out knockout threats. Both guys serious power, where Anderson Silva versus Izzy was more of a technical battle. Don't get it twisted, there will be plenty of technique in this fight, but both guys at any moment can knock each other out. A super interesting fight, but an interesting one where you would typically think that Alex Pereira should face the number 1 ranked contender in Magomed Ankalaev, but he's not. Doesn't seem like he's fighting Ankalaev, so instead he's going to be fighting number 8 ranked Khalil Roundtree, which in terms of the power rankings and number 1 contenders makes no sense to the UFC to do, but like Dana says, styles make fights. So this is a fight that no fan is going to be upset to see. Unless you're Magomed Ankalaev, everyone would have rather seen this fight. But like I said, these two are the best strikers in the division and the two biggest punchers probably as well. That being said, in terms of the striking, I think in terms of typical fashion, you're going to want to give the edge to Alex Pereira, who's a former Glory kickboxing champ, plus former middleweight champ and the current light heavyweight champ. But you can't forget that Khalil Roundtree has trained extensively in Thailand with Muay Thai masters and knocked out another kickboxing legend in Gohang Saki a few years back. And then, if you're still not convinced that Khalil Roundtree can seriously bang, watch his win over Anthony Smith. Now, Anthony Smith, we won't get into him because I could cook this dude, but that'd be too easy. But Khalil Roundtree cooked Anthony Smith, beat the brakes off of him. But still, me personally, I've got to give the edge to Alex Pereira because I think Alex Pereira's got a better resume, and technically, might have the slight edge over Khalil Roundtree, particularly in terms of experience as well. But I'd be super curious to know what you guys think. Who do you think is going to win that fight between Alex Pereira and Khalil Roundtree for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship? Yeah, let me know in the comments below. What else have we got here? Do do do. Do do do. Do 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 do. What have we got here? Do do do. Nothing much really. Do do do. What else have we got here? Do 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 do. Do do do. What else have we got here? Do 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 do. Ba 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 ba. What else have we got here? We keep looking, keep looking, keep looking. Well, of course, we've got Cole Palmer with his record-breaking first half for Chelsea today when Chelsea faced Brighton. To be honest, when this gets clipped up and goes out, this will probably be, maybe a few weeks from now or at least a few days. But yeah, Cole Palmer scored 4 goals in the first half of the match against who are they facing? Who did Chelsea face? Brighton. So Chelsea versus Brighton. Chelsea won 4-2, and Cole Palmer with an amazing hat trick, and then goes on to score another goal. Quite a performance from Cole Palmer, and to be honest, a good performance from Chelsea. To be fair, they gave away some silly goals to Brighton, scored those 2 goals, and to be fair to Brighton, they took their chances, so no complaints there. But this is a much better Chelsea team that we're seeing this season than we saw last season. Now, how much is that due to, they signed a lot of players, a lot of young players, and they're really getting used to it now and bedding in and getting more familiar with each other. And you can even see in the play there's a lot more chemistry than what there used to be in terms of timed runs and just terrorising defences. So this is a lot better from Chelsea, but last season Cole Palmer was Chelsea's best player, and that's pretty much continuing this season with a 4-goal performance in the first half. You don't see that often in football, let alone in the Premier League, because the level's that high. Cole Palmer, showed tremendous poise. He took all of his goals really well, and to be honest, had a few good chances. He could have had 5 or 6, to be honest. He missed some close chances, but yeah, Cole Palmer with 4 goals and really carried Chelsea offense. But I say that, but Nicholas Jackson, a good performance, got in some good positions. Didn't manage to score a goal, but this isn't a problem Chelsea is going to have, because you're going to have a player like Nicholas Jackson who will get into great positions. You're going to have Cole Palmer, Nkunku, Sancho, whoever else. They've got loads of players. I'm not going to list all of Chelsea's offensive players, but serious talent going forward, and it's good to see that it's all clicking now under Enzo Maresca. He seemed to be getting a tune out of them. We saw it, to be fair, we did see it at the end of last season with Poch, and they started to put some results together and started to build that chemistry. But it looks like Enzo Maresca's just kind of continued that and pushed it forward even further. So a really good job to Enzo Maresca, because he wasn't coming into an easy job at all. I can imagine that post Poch, it seemed like a lot of players really liked Pochettino at Chelsea and were unhappy to see him go, and weren't really happy with the way he left the team. But Enzo Maresca kind of came in and anyway steadied the ship and continued that good momentum that Chelsea sort of ended the season on. I'm happy to see it, because There's so much talent in that team. It's ridiculous the amount of talent they've got in that team. So, like I said, a great performance by Cole Palmer, and let's see how much longer Chelsea can keep this up for. Be super curious to know what you thought of Cole Palmer's performance against Chelsea, and do you think we can expect it more often? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, what else have we got here? There's really not a great deal going on. Yeah, not great deal going on, to be fair. Let's not go into that. Let's keep looking. What else have we got here? Yeah, to be honest, yeah, I think that'll be it from me today, guys. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Very good conversation as usual. Um, yeah, so yeah, guys, that's it from me. Thanks for joining us, and I'm out. Peace.